Guitar IRs are what makes or breaks your guitar tone and your mix. You may have experienced that the quality of your IR defines the size of your guitar tone, its harshness, and the actual feel for the tone, whether it will be perceived as modern or old school. The usage and the application of your IRs would highly depend on the riff that you're processing, the style of music, and the mix approach as well. Therefore, we are always on a hunt for the next perfect IRs. In this video, I would like to share some comparisons between the lesser known but really outstanding modern metal guitar IRs, which you may become excited with. Let's go! Let me know in comments which of those three you liked the most. I'm Dr. Mike Trubetskov and I'm here to bring valuable information on recording, producing and mixing metal. So mate, please like and subscribe and share this video with your mates so that the algorithm pushes the value forward. Let's do it. A disclaimer, I am looking into the products by Buster Odeholm and by Forward Audio. I have no affiliation with any of those. Forward Audio did send me this pack to review, and I took my time and used that in my mixes for about a month. And in this video, I'm finally able to share my proper findings after using this for some time. And with Buster's IRs, I just purchased them out of pocket some time ago because they are sick. Before we get started with the comparisons, few words about what makes a good IR in my opinion. We've all used the IR packs that were not top-notch quality, only to find that it is almost impossible to get them sounding right afterwards. Because the IR itself is a capture of a cabinet, microphone and a preamp chain that basically serves as a very complex filter or an EQ curve, if you may. And when you're dealing literally with 100 of boosts and cuts, this would introduce a phase shift as different frequencies of your guitar signal pass through that filter at different rates based on the wavelength. And as a result, therefore, if you have an IR with lots of piercing, harsh frequencies, resonances, think about 3, 4 or 5K, these become exponentially problematic to fix after this application. The low end and mid-range fidelity is also very important to define a good IR. And finally, as there are literally myriads of combinations for guitar speaker brands, options and microphone placements, we need to use the IR that is matching tonally to our music. So in short, my understanding of a good IR is basically get it right at the source, capture it right with a microphone and at your cab, and have that IR as a print so that we can use it in the future, rather than having an average IR and trying to fix it in post with a million of cuts and boosts. And I believe that we've all been there, and that has caused us a lot of problems in the past. Let's go through the Buster's Artist IR pack first, this one here, and see how it sounds just in isolation. I gotta say a couple of things about this pack. Right now the EQ after the IR and the bus EQ is disabled, and I gotta say that this IR has a specific character. To me it sounds very modern. The mids are unmatchable. I cannot achieve such mids elsewhere at all. The low end is good. The top end is well pronounced and doesn't have annoying resonances. It can sound a little bit harsh at times though, so you gotta be careful with it. So here is how it sounds after the processing. I believe that with the processing that I have applied in isolation, I can actually hear that the tone was shifted, and I didn't like how that shift occurred, in which way. However, in the mix, the original tone sits a little bit worse without any processing, just because there are a couple of resonances that particularly come out through this specific layout of my specific mix, so that is more of a technical approach of smoothing this tone out. And so overall, I'm really enjoying this pack. It is limited, you have a few options, and these sound pretty awesome and have a very distinct character. Let's next look up into the forward audio IR pack, which sounds like this. Let me go through this in more detail and go through the individual microphones to see what is being offered to you. Going through this with you together right now, and my impression is that the top end that you're getting is very smooth and has a very interesting character to it. It truly does sound like a modern metal guitar tone in a nutshell, with that spark towards the very top end, maybe 8K, and it rarely sounds harsh, which is pretty amazing. So the resonances that occur after those cabs, carefully maintained. And I've been in touch with a developer, and they said that they've spent a lot of time and attention positioning the microphones right at the source, as we've discussed before. I also really like that there are a lot of different combinations, dark and bright, and you can mix and match using one on a side and then balancing with another. Back to how it was before. This doesn't quite change the character at all. And then here, just taming down those resonances again in the mix mainly. I'm enjoying the mid-range character a lot for this particular setting. And now let's listen to the other setting that I dialed in for you. Back to the first one. one is sort of a bit crunchier on the mids. It doesn't differ as much, but cumulatively in the mix. Let's compare. So the second one first. First one. They are quite different. The first one sounds more scooped, and this is completely your tonal preference or mix approach preference. Which one would you like the most? So this is it for this overview video of two different IR packs. I hope that you find this useful, because I believe that this was important to showcase how different manufacturers provide a vastly different tone, both sounding really good, just different. And also I think it was really important to show that even minimal processing may shift your tone towards an unwanted zone or towards where you want it to be as well. So hopefully you find this useful. As I said again, I'm not sponsored by any of those companies, I just have those packs. One was sent to me, one I just purchased outright, and I use them in my everyday mixes. So, up until next time, rock on, create some sick riffs, and cheers!